Hello. This is going to be sort of a review, more of a. So we're going to have a look at Small World, and we're going to have a little review of it, and we're going to see if it's still relevant in 2019. So yeah, this one's like a sort of an area control game, isn't it? So released in 2010, based on another game it was released in 1999, and this is beloved, still beloved today. We're going to see, is it still worth playing in 2019. We'll be back after the staircase bit.
Board games 4K.
So Small World, it's an area control kind of game, and sort of a war game really. And you're going to be beginning of the game. You've got a list. You randomly draw 6 races and 6 powers, and you stack them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you choose one from the list, and then you pay, depending on how far down it is, you pay a coin or a victory point for each place down the list it is. And yeah, you've got a power and a race, and that determines how many race tokens you get to put on the board. And you're going to come in from the side of the board or in an area next to the sea, and you're going to be putting down so many tokens. It costs a certain amount of tokens to conquer that area, so you need 2 tokens for an empty space, and every bit of cardboard that's in that space will cost you an extra token. And also there's some special abilities that might affect that. But yeah, you're going to get to the point where your race is spread out, where you can't spread out any further. So at that point you're going to be putting your race into decline, and what that means is that you flip over your race token, discard the power token, and then you flip over all the tokens that are on the board, and then they don't do anything after that. All they do is give you victory points, but on your next turn you can choose another race from the list, paying the appropriate cost, and if there's any coins or any victory points on there, then you'll be able to take them into your pool. So yeah, the person, after normally 9 rounds, depending on player count, and the person with the most victory points wins. So yeah, that's basically how you play Small World. Let's have a think about what is still good about this game in 2019. Well, the first thing is it still looks absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it's colourful. I mean, it's really vibrant. It radiates colour. It's an absolutely fantastically gorgeous board, and the artwork on it is absolutely fantastic. I mean, have a look at the board. It's still gorgeous to look at. Really nice colours, and it works really, really well. Now, obviously it hasn't had a second edition because maybe it don't need it, but it looks absolutely gorgeous. Yeah, the second thing we like about it is it's really, really quick to set up. It hasn't been bogged down in this this complex sort of move towards more complex games in the last few years. It's still really, really easy to set up. You plonk the board down, you've got a tray of tokens for the races, and then you've got all the money, and then that's it really. Basically, you just set out all your races and off you go. So it's really easy to set up. Yeah, the turns in this one are really, really quick as well. I mean, okay, you can get bogged down with people sort of trying to analyse the board too much. Shall I do this? Shall I do that? But it's not really that sort of game. You should just sort of jump in, dive in, and swim, and then it doesn't really matter what happens. It's not a deep game. It's not a strategic game by any stretch of the imagination. It's one of them ones where you're just going to the races pop up randomly. You're going to see how it goes, see if you can win with that specific combination. Nowadays, I mean, with games like Rise and Sun and Blood Rage, it's a little bit more complex. This one harks back to an era that's gone by, and yeah, that still holds up today. The quick turns and the less complex nature of the game. Yeah, I mean, the fact that you've got this the coming together of the powers and the races is the variability and the replayability is still pretty good. I mean, you can have a laugh saying you've got diplomatic zombies, or you've got flying wizards or something. You can have a laugh with that. And yeah, the actual races themselves are quite varied. The powers are varied, and yeah, it's really good. It still holds up that coming together of the powers and the races, that variability. Yeah, another bonus that we don't really see still this day, and it was quite surprising when we first got Small World years and years ago, is the fact you've got a different board included in the game for every player count, and you've even got that 6-player board that you can get where you can't get it because it's out of print, and those are ones that don't tend to reprint stuff that often. But yeah, you've got a board for every player count. It's not like in Kemet where you have to cut some of the board off, or in Power Grid you have to slice some of the board off, and you don't go there. You get a specific board for a specific player count, and that's still fantastic even today. I mean, this one, they haven't done a second edition. It's a bit like Memoir 44, still living in the first edition. But yeah, it's still supported. There's still loads of expansions, loads of races, loads of extra expansions. You've got the underground, you've got the river one, you've got the 2 power packs that you can get. So Small World is still supported by Days of Wonder today. It's still available, and that's really good, seeing as it first come out in 2010. Right? So how was this thing aged? What don't we like about it in 2019? What has superseded it? What sort of things are dated? Well, the fact that it uses tokens for the races is a bit fiddly, it's a bit outdated. I mean, obviously what we've all moved towards miniature games, and that maybe there would have been, in a second edition, there might be something a bit better than that. But yeah, I mean, there's the newer style games, they do it better, I think, having those tokens. It detaches itself from the sort of the immersion of the game, I think. And yeah, the tokens are fiddly. If you lose one and it goes flying across the board, it's difficult to remember where it came from. So yeah, that's a bit of a downer. Yeah, I think, like, you know, it would have been better if some sort of region tracker or something. I mean, you know, maybe you can download something from Board Game Geek, but the fact that you've got to go around the board and go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, hang on, did I count that one? It's just like, oh my god, it does my head in. It's really like a pain in the neck, and that's been addressed in subsequent games, I think, and that is definitely one of the dated things. You've got to actually sort of go there and sort of, you know, use an abacus to tot stuff up. It's a real pain in the neck. Another thing is that when you go into decline, you flip over all your race tokens, and it's kind of difficult to see which ones are which. I mean, they all look kind of similar, you know. You've got the last game we played with the ghouls and the trolls, and sometimes when you're looking over the other side of the board, it's very difficult to see which ones are which, and it's like, you know, that could have been better. You know, they could have had like a letter or something on there so you can tell it's like T for trolls or G for ghouls or whatever, you know. But that's a pain in the neck. That should and probably has been addressed in other games of its ilk up to this point. So yeah, it's a bit of a downer. Yeah, as far as the gameplay is concerned, I mean, I found it, you know, we recently replayed it, playthrough, and it's kind of like a bit bitty. It doesn't really flow that well. You know, I had trouble sort of putting my race out on a board, and I got stuck in a corner and I couldn't get out because my mate Gary had the hero tokens there, and I got boxed in, and it's just felt like I was sort of, you know, my car wouldn't start, you know, that sort of thing. That it was sort of running to its full potential, and it wasn't really anything to do with me. I don't know, maybe it was, maybe you see the run through, you go and what you're doing. But yeah, that's a real pain in the bum. Yeah, it's very bitty. It doesn't flow as well as other games that have come out subsequently. Yeah, I mean, you could argue also that you know, when it was released, the game didn't really care about balance. It's just, you know, the races and the power tokens, or the powers, come out randomly, and it's like, well, it's probably impossible to balance all the races and all the power tokens that come together. So you might have, like, we had the ghouls, I think, and they just spread out all across the board, and yet, you know, I had the I don't know, the wizards or something. I just felt boxed in. I couldn't do anything. But then maybe that's my fault for choosing that race, but then that would have been really expensive. But so yes, random elements. But yeah, I don't think Days of Wonder, or, you know, maybe the first game, is it Vinci or something, it's based on in 1999. I don't think it really had that worried about balance. It's more like a light-hearted sort of, not really a war game, but like just a sort of an area control game. It's a case of just throw the chips up in the air, see where they land. So yeah, I mean, that sort of, it's not the most balanced game in the world. But then maybe it wasn't designed to be balanced. I don't know. It's very difficult to say. But yeah, if you want balance in a game, there's better games, better area control games out there. So yeah, I'd steer clear of Small World if I were you. If you want a genuinely balanced game. Yeah, so another thing, the insert is it's very dated, and it's borders on useless. I mean, because one thing you don't want to do at the end of the game is you don't want to be separating out all the bloody victory point tokens into 1s, 3s, 5s and 10s there. You just want to chuck them in a bag and bung them in. So yeah, that's utterly ridiculous. We've tossed a token, we've actually burnt it, and it's sent it back to Days of Wonder in protest at how crap it is, and it should be sorted out. But yeah, so just get some baggies. Keep even the race token tray is a pain in the neck, because you can't, when you put them back in, you can't see. It's difficult to see where the say, I don't know, you've you just conquered one of the Giants regions, and you have to give some tokens back to the person who's playing the Giants, but then you've got to try and find, oh, is it this one, is it this one, is it, oh, no, just pointless. So yeah, toss all the trays, chuck them in baggies, and off you go, and there you go, job done, problem solved. So to summarise this game, is it still worth your playtime in 2019? I would say probably, I don't know, it's one of them ones you can have on your shelf and you just pick out now and again. I wouldn't look and buy this now. Don't know, I can't really say. It's a difficult one. It's dated, put it that way. It's completely dated. Aesthetically it's still good, it still looks nice, it's still pretty, it's still, the production quality looks good. The components are dated, you know, it's not the pinnacle of area control that it once was. So yeah, there's if I'm brutally honest with you, there's probably better games out there. You know, you've got Rising Sun now, you've got Blood Rage, even you've got, even go back even further than that, you've got Cyclades, which is a better game than this. So yeah, it hasn't aged well. You know, I'd say probably if the main draw of this one is probably the fact that you can combine different races, there's that replayability there. But I mean, I would only touch this one if you've got all the other decent games and you're just looking for something a little bit different that goes up from say 2 to 5 players, and you don't have to cut some of the board off. You know, that's one of the things that I like about this game. But other than that, you know, just don't. I wouldn't touch this game. I wouldn't think about getting this above any of the other sort of you know, more recent area control games. So yeah, a Small World, probably about 6 or 7 out of 10 for us, probably at this point in time. You know, going back maybe when we first got it, it would have been maybe 8 out of 10. You know, but it's aged quite badly. Probably if it had a second edition and ironed out some of the wrinkles, maybe it would be up there again. But yeah, I don't know. There you go, Small World. If you like this video, if you want to see more board game reviews, if you want to see more stuff about games or anything to do with board games or card games or game books or anything like that, role-playing games, then please subscribe to the channel. Please tell us what we're doing right, tell us what we're doing wrong. Like, comment, subscribe, tell us something in the comments down there or up there or there, and we'll see you next time.